Okay, so I've been bringing a lot of Praxic Blade builds so far. They just work and they're a lot of fun to play, obviously. But I was kind of like getting a little, I wouldn't say bored with it, but I wanted to try something different. So I was trying to like play around and see what I could do. So I've come up with something very interesting, especially for a hunter, that really does some kind of weird stuff. Um, and it's actually kind of a lot of fun. I've been using it in a couple of my runs with in Lawless Frontier and some playlist activities, some portal activities and stuff like that. But it's really I'm gonna say it's kind of stupid, but it's also like it actually works surprisingly well. And honestly, like I don't know how many people have even tested with this weapon, so I don't know if they know what it can do. But it's actually using the other new exotic we got, the Service of Luzaku, the healing heavy weapon machine gun. It's surprisingly good. It's reasonably decent. It hits reasonably hard. I mean, for what a machine gun can do, and its perk that lets it kind of like heal people and like top off your little threadling nest or whatever is actually kind of cracked, which I'm gonna go in and show you here in a bit. But like actually kind of insane what it can actually do. Um, but this is actually a build that could theoretically work in a raid or a dungeon environment as a support run. And again, I'm playing on Hunter, right? So running prismatic. I tried it with a couple other things. Like I tried a pure, I tried like a pure Strand setup, and with like whirling maelstrom just for, again I was trying to have fun, and it can work. It just doesn't work in certain content, obviously. Like it's not a universal build, but go back to prismatic, right? Because prismatic is just like honestly the best class for hunter, like the best subclass, uh, hands down. It's just too it's too got too much utility in it. Um, since we are running support, we will run deadfall, right? This is gonna just allow us to generate tons of orbs, get the weaken, get the suppress, get all the extra damage for the team, right? Uh, Acrobats dodge, pretty standard stuff here, right? Radiant, buff for you, buff for your teammates if they're actually close enough for it to work. Triple jump because movement. Withering Blade, I don't know if you noticed, I personally like Withering Blade a lot. The two charges are just too good. Grapple because it's just the best. For this one, I've kind of played back and forth between running threaded and stylish. Uh, I like stylish in brawn content, so no health regen content. I think stylish is just better because it lets like you get a quick kill, right? Things start to get bad, you just pick up a quick kill and then run away and reset, right? Um, Whereas with Threaded Spectre, it always, one, especially in these higher level contents, it always seems to break too quickly and then the mobs just immediately retarget you. Um, but it can still work, and you do get the extra fragment slot with it. And then Ascension, just that ability to self amplify. Like the jolt's a nice addition, but like the self amplification is just too good. Fragments this time we'll be running Faceted Devotion. This build, it is running double special with your main secondary swap weapon being a the one I'm running is a is a Strand trace rifle. So we need bonus light energy, transcendence energy from somewhere. So we're gonna run Facet of Devotion to get that. Facet of Hope, want more class ability energy, right? We want it to regen as fast as possible. Want to be able to dodge, re-amplify, all that stuff. Facet of Protection, standard setup, right? Damage resistance is all that matters. Facet of Purpose, pick up Overpower, get your Woven Mail, or in this case, sorry, Overshield because we're running Deadfall. Looking at the stats real quick, 160 on weapons, right? We're just trying to max that out. Class, I'm going, well, as I've talked about in my other video, right? I'm I'm rocking my Fortune's favor, so I want to be at least above 100. I think 110 is totally fine, right? This is technically 120 because you're losing 10 from your fragments. So this is technically 120, but net 110. My gear's not masterwork because I'm broke. I've been spending too much lately on all these different builds and all these different items. So I'm 5 off. It will actually peak at 100, right? You don't want to go above 100 with Deadfall. There's absolutely no reason. It has 0 benefit. I hope they fix that someday. Because honestly, like if they would just make Deadfall last longer, like it doesn't need to do more damage or anything like that, or increase the suppression effect. But if they would just make it last longer, like Well and Bubble do, right? That would actually make the super stat useful for Deadfall. But as of right now, it caps at 100 for the regen rate. Cap it at 100. Do everything you can not to let it go above that. And then I just kind of let the other stats fall where they do, right? In this case, 65 grenade is about the best I'm going to get. 47 melee, I don't really care about the melee that much, right? Again, I've got 2 charges. They'll come back reasonably quickly as it is. I'm not too worried about it. And then health being the dead stat that it is in PvE, try and keep it as low as possible, right? Running 0. Now, I am running weapons. Like I said, I am running double special. In this case, I'm running Ribbon Tail. My particular role has Envious Arsenal Detonator Beam, and I am using the opening salvo weapon mod. This thing is amazing. If you don't have it yet, I would highly recommend grinding the contracts or whatever, the little ones you do for Vanguard or whatever, to get these. This one is amazing. Literally, you pull the weapon out. As soon as you start firing it, it gets an unstoppable charge. You can put this on weapons that have natural traits like anti-barrier or overcharge, and it will still work, right? So you can, like, on my pulse rifle, I have it on my Horror's Least. So my Horror's Least can stun overcharge or overloads, and it can stun unstoppables. So it's 2 for the price of 1, and they don't overwrite each other because it doesn't have it's not a naturally baked in trait like some of the other weapons, right? As for my Motive 41, this is the new grenade launcher that just came out. This is not the ideal role that I want. What I really want on this is an attrition orb heal clip. Right now I've got loose chains. This is what I got. I mean, loose chain stats for all, right? The attrition orbs, right, generate more orbs of power, right? If you get some kills with it, or get some damage, like do consistent damage, especially on like boss targets and stuff like that. Obviously, they nerfed it for grenade launchers thanks to Psycho Pomp being absolutely insane back in the day. But I still think attrition orbs is the way to go, right? And this will help you generate that light transcendence energy as well. And like I said, I want heal clip on this. I think heal clip would be great because it's going to net you cure ×2 for yourself and a cure for your allies. So you're technically doing more healing, right? The whole purpose of this build is to actually be a healer, right? Which is ironic. And then Service of Luzaku, right? The way this works, if you kill an enemy every so often, it's not every enemy you kill. It's every couple. You'll spawn like this little green blob threadling nest that you can shoot to keep it alive, and it'll periodically pop out threadlings for you. Now, the way that kind of works, this whole thing, so we'll look at its actual play. So hitting targets with this weapon builds a restorative charge. Hit firing at allies while this weapon is charged heals them. Does not expend ammo. Fills weapons magazine from reserves. Rapid healing increases weapon damage and spawn threadlings from your allies, right? So essentially the way this works is, one, you can shoot an enemy, kill an enemy, and get this threadling nest, right? Which you can then shoot to keep healed and let it perpetually pop out more threadlings, right? Or you can do damage to something and then shoot your allies, and as you're shooting your allies, they'll pop out threadlings for you. So this is I think this build would actually go like crazy on like a threadling warlock setup. Like you would have threadlings for days. This is why I wanted to try it on a pure Strand class subclass, but it doesn't play as well. And then the catalyst, the nest now mature. This really isn't that big of a deal. It's just essentially an extra tangle. And again, this is why I wanted to do on Strand with Whirling Maelstrom. Once you get this up, you get an extra tangle outside of the normal tangle cooldown, right? So normally you have like a 15-second tangle cooldown after you make one. This actually bypasses that. So you can actually get a ton of threadlings on, or a ton of tangles, and if you're running Whirling Maelstrom, a ton of spinning balls on the field at the same time, like a ton of them. But it's not, again, doesn't play as well on Strand, at least in higher end content. As for armor, I'm currently rocking one special, one heavy, and a Strand siphon. Since I am using 2 Strand weapons, that does help get some orbs of power out there, right? Like I said, you're pretty much gonna be almost entirely using the heavy machine gun. If you do it right, it does not run out of ammo. Like, it really doesn't run out of ammo. But in case it does, you have the heavy ammo finder, right? So you swap over to your special weapons, and you can very quickly pick up some heavy off of that. If you're finding that, like, if you're having trouble using it and it is running out of ammo for you, or like, it's higher in content and it's running out of ammo, maybe swap out the siphon mod. You could swap it out for another heavy ammo finder to like just juice it up a little bit more. Running heavy-handed, right, works for both grapple melee and shurikens. Impact induction, right, again, damage with a powered melee reduces your grenade cooldown. This works. Your grapple melee triggers impact induction and feeds you back some grenade energy when you use it, and it works with shurikens. And then just a grenade font to try and get it as close to 100 as possible. This currently has triple arc resist because I was doing, I wasn't trying to solo it again, but I was running the Exodus Crash, and even the default version that you run in Fire Team, those, I think that they messed something up in the portal for sure, because those snipers do, like, even on like normal mode, those snipers do way too much damage. Like, it is, like, even triple arc resist, they're still like 2-tapping you. It's kind of crazy. But either way, just sock it in the mods you need, right? If you want, you could run a reserves or a finder mod. I think that's what they are now, but you don't need it. Fortune's Favor, that's going to be our exotic because it's the best one right now, especially if it works in all cases, right? It's just a 15. It's essentially considered a 15% damage bonus at more or less all times if you play it right. And it's passive, and it gives you an overshield, which is damage reduction. It is the best exotic for Hunter right now for pretty much everything, with the exception of a couple of very specific builds. I am running a better already because we are running Ferropotent 2-piece. So if you drop below your overshield and you drop a little bit of health, you pick up an Orb of Power. It immediately starts your health regen, which immediately procs Ferropotent, which gives you a 10% passive DR on the back end that you don't even have to think about. I'm running a Strand Weapon Surge. Again, I'm running 2 Strand weapons. And then I am running a Void Scav. Just, I don't know why I'm running a Void Scav. That should be a Strand Scav. That is entirely brain dead. So let's fix that. Running a Strand Scav so that I can actually get more ammo. Please note that I just realized it was on Void for some reason, and I just ran a Lawless Frontier and didn't run out of ammo using the Luzaku the whole time. So, which I'm gonna put the gameplay up after this, so you'll be able to see it after I kind of go over a couple other things. But yeah, so again, this, even without the Scav mod, I was pretty much able to spam use Luzaku. And then I'm running a special ammo finder. Again, this is a just in case you run out of ammo, right? I'm going to generate it, get 3 orbs of power, pop your finisher, get special ammo for your whole team. You're playing support, you might as well put the support stuff in there. And then we got a time dilation so that we can max out the time that we, add some time. So it goes from like 10 to 15 seconds per charge, right? So just one is enough. And then whatever this one, Powerful Attraction, that's what it's called. The one that just sucks all the orbs into you when you use your class ability, right? Cool. And that pretty much wraps up this. Now I want to go over some stuff, and I'm going to show you a very interesting kind of interaction with Luzaku on the training range and how it works. And then I'm going to show you some gameplay that puts it into action, and then I'll kind of explain how I think that this could be used in the dungeon tomorrow. Well, today technically, but we'll see, because I don't know how many people have any idea of how this works. So, anyways, let's just hop into the training range. Okay, so here we are on the training range. I'm gonna have it set to Cabal just for the sake of argument. For today's dungeon, is everyone's assuming it's gonna be Cabal focused. Not that it really matters, but let's get the theme right. All right, so what I'm going to be showing you is the couple of different things associated with this gun. How to tell what's going on, how to know what you're supposed to be doing. So first off, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and get a kill here. And there's our nest. Now if you look, around the nest is this little red circle that's ticking down. That little red circle is the health of the nest, essentially, right? So I can sit here and I can top off the nest and keep the circle alive, and that's going to let it spawn more threadlings the longer it stays up, right? So the way we heal people is we do a little bit of damage, and you'll notice right below the reticule of the gun is a little half circle, right? That half circle is your charge bar. So the more damage you do, the more it fills up. Right, so you can see that as we're doing damage, if I could actually hit my targets, you can see that it's filled up a little bit, right? That's your healing potential, right? And that healing can be used on your allies or on your little threadling nest, right? Oh, ignore that. Fab it. So things I really want to show you here, all right? So that's basic, right? So what you're gonna see, I'll go do this again. So you see how it's got the circle and the little red bar around it, right? That's going to be the same for your allies, right? Your allies are going to have their little guardian rank next to their name, obviously. And you're going to see a little white bar, circle around their name, right? When they're really low health, it'll be red. But for the most part, you'll see it'll be white, right? Unless it's full. If their health is full, there won't be a little white circle around it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get this set up real quick. The right gun. Now I want to show you some of the interesting way that this works. So I'm going to go ahead and get my nest down. It's going to simulate my friend. I've got my healing charge. This is perfect. So you see how the nest is behind the target, but that little triangle over the nest, I'm actually targeting that, which is treating it as if I'm trying to heal. But because Carl here is in the way, he's actually body blocking the shots for me, letting me do damage to it. And you'll notice that I'm not losing ammo. As long as I'm attempting, I didn't have to actually heal, as long as I am attempting to heal, I don't lose ammo. Except for the occasional ones, that actually target on them, right? So let's say you had your teammate, right? That's your teammate right there, and you're on a melee boss, right? You can just do like this. Kind of keep that targeting going on, and you can sit here and you can just spam out, right? Step around the corner, get your heal off on your actual teammate, and then go back to doing this little do-si-do right here around the boss, right? You're doing damage, right? You're stepping around the corner, getting the heal off on your friend, on your other friend, right? And I still more or less have full ammo, right? So it lets you be a healer and actually be useful, right? Apart from the healing part, right? You can actually do damage around it. Now, I'm sure this mechanic probably exists with other support weapons, but there's only been a couple in the past, like support frame styles, and this is the first heavy, right? So you're getting machine gun damage, right? Not that it's really that much, but you're getting machine gun damage on an enemy while having essentially infinite ammo if you have a friend behind them or a threadling nest behind them, right? So it can be useful. It's a little cool thing, right? So that's the interesting interaction and kind of how the gun works, right? And obviously, I don't think a lot of people have really tested this because the lightsaber's here, or the Praxic Blade, right? Sorry, the Praxic Blade is here. So I'm sure most people have been playing with that, right? I've done quite a few of those. So, let's see how it, give it a shot. Give this a shot. If you want to be a support, see what happens. Anyways, let's go over some gameplay and then show you what it looks like in action. All right, here we go. Jumping straight on in. We are running a Grandmaster Lawless Frontier smuggle mission. We are doing it in a group because you are support. First thing, most important thing, let your boys know you're the healer. You're here to help them. You're here to keep them alive. That's your job. All right, now, something you may have noticed from my other videos, I always go for these side objectives first. The main reason is, one, they're easy, and two, they save you a lot of headache, right? Especially if you're on like an invasion map. Because getting invaded while the hunter mobs, especially the elixir ones that have the hunters that have the grapple that pin you in the air, it's just super annoying. So I always go for these, and you don't really have to actually kill any of these. They will despawn after you complete the objective. So like you'll notice here, like I kind of like look at them and tap them a little bit, but like mainly I'm not looking for the hunters. If I see a hunter, I'm gonna ignore it and come over here and break these things. Once you break them, 15, 20 seconds later, the hunters will de-aggro. Now I'm gonna go look. Oh, my boy Bigsy's low on health. You see that little red next to his where his number should be. Pop him off a little bit. Look at that. Oh, look, he's safe. Oh yeah, Bigsy, I got you, buddy. He fell off. He's scared of me. All right, Bigsy's good. Let's go check on Sam Sandwich over here. Pop him off. Now, as you can see, again, you're looking at his guardian rank, and you're looking at the little white circle around that guardian. There you go. You see, he's full up, and the white little circle disappeared. Now we'll get our charge fully locked up here and head back out to Bigsy, who's taking more damage. Help our boy out. And he did drop us a nice little reconnaissance beacon that shows you where all the chests are. So I'll be sure to make use of that at some point after I top my boy off here, right? His primary job is healing, not chasing treasure. You can always chase treasure when everybody's at full health. Now, I will say, for those of you that may or may not be like fully maxed out on your factions, if you are trying to max out your factions or you're going for that specific role, like you need some extra credits or what the dark matter ingots or whatever they are, you should try and just rush all the chests and break all the pots that you can, because that's where you're going to get a lot of your materials. So I highly recommend at the beginning of every map, you just run around and grab all the chests, break all the little pots, you know, get your coins, your credits, right? Get your rewards from those chests, because that's gonna, they build up very quickly, right? And it'll help you, right? Because you can, even if you're aligned with one faction, you can turn in the dark matter ingots to another faction and get faction rep from the other guys, right? They didn't lock you. You're not locked out based on who you're aligned with. So like it, you know, my ship, right? Several people have asked me about the ship. It's the one that you get for having rank 5 with all 3 factions. It's actually pretty easy to get, but you know, a lot of people ask. I haven't seen a lot of like super great information about how to level the factions up, but if you guys want, I could at some point cover how to actually level the factions up. It doesn't take long. It'll take you about 3 days of like solid grinding, or like 4 or 5 if you're kind of like doing it casually. But here we go. You know, just making sure my boy over there is topped off. You can actually kind of hear the difference between when the gun is shooting for damage, right, and shooting to heal, right? It sounds more like a blaster. The increased rate of fire and the blaster sound when you're healing. And then the more slightly chunky sound like that right there is, and it's much slower fire is when you're doing damage. You can also tell, like you can't see the little triangle when you're targeting someone. The gun itself pops up an indicator right on the top of it, right? So if you look, there'll be some little green lines. So you see right there, the little green like weave at the top of it. That means that you're aiming to heal. That means you're aiming at your friend. Oh, Oh, buddy, Sam. Sam, I'm sorry, dude. I can't keep you alive through a cabal pod. I'm so sorry, buddy. I tried my best. But there's something I can't heal death. Here we go. Gonna go ahead and pop the super. Oh, God, Sam. Again, buddy? Sam. I guess. Don't worry, guys. I got this. See, the good thing is you can still put out some damage with your setup, right? Keep yourself alive. Actually get some kills out, right? Popping up, throwing out the Transcendence. Getting some damage out. We got the boss here, right? I'll top off the nest. Let it keep spewing some threadlings for me. Pop off Sam over there in the back. Boss teleport. I was trying to get the setup so I could do damage through the boss. I'm trying to kill the death or Sam through the boss. But he decided to teleport, so that didn't get to happen. You see, we're almost back to another ult here. Right there. There's our second ult. Okay. And really, we didn't have a lot of kill. And Sam died to a cabal bot again. Buddy, like, okay, it's the healer's fault, right? If you die, if you have a healer and you die, it's the healer's fault. So, you know, it's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. A bad healer. It's like my first time healing, you know? Hey, we'll top our guys off. He's just standing there. Honestly, I highly doubt either of these guys even have a clue that they are being healed by. They probably have no clue. I don't understand. Like, legitimately, they're probably just like, what is going on, dude? Why does this guy like keep chasing me down with this machine gun?
Accept your other hand.
Only need the one when we meet again.
No. Gotta get all our chests here, right? I know our other boy, Big Z, was the one hunting chests, so I'll make sure he knows how to get it. I had so much trouble figuring out how to get that chest originally. I honestly, I don't think I figured it out on my own. I think I saw someone else go through that hole in the wall. I kept looking for like a terminal to like open that shield, but I could not for the life of me figure out how to get in there. It's like, to my knowledge, it's the only one that has like, that's behind like a fake barrier that you can't actually open. So it completely threw me off. It's like a one-off. All right, so here we go. We're getting into the harder version of the smuggle missions, right, where you actually have to like carry stuff. So we see we get the cargo bundles. So I'm just gonna toss them, right? So all right, left click does the melee, right click does a throw for these. So what I recommend doing is you pick them up, especially if you're running solo. You pick them all up, and you throw. You figure out where the locations are for the turn ends, and then you just toss as many as you can towards that turn end. And then he goes, like you can see me picking up the nest, picking up the tango from the matured nest. The only downside to doing that is it does remove the nest when you do it, so that's why I won't do it very often unless I want an extra tangle, or by accident possibly. But yeah, so far I'm still sitting at almost full ammo, right? I've been on this gun pretty much the whole time. A couple times I swapped over to stack up some bricks and energy, or had to do some damage with the tractor beam. And as you can see, like, it does not run out of ammo. Like, if you're using it properly, it's not going to run out of ammo. Which I think is great. So, like, it can be incredibly effective for ag clearing. And it works really well in a double special environment. If you're running a double special, it works insanely well for double special. So for these smuggle missions, these ones specifically where you have to turn in 15 cargo crates, the best thing you can possibly do is try, like, it's timing based for when they lock down. But if you can at least fill one of the things up, right? Each plate, there's 3 plates total. Each plate can hold 5, a max of 5. Which you really want to, you want to get each one locked. You want to get as many locked down as possible, right? So ideally, like, especially if you're running solo, you want to get at least 1 lockdown, so that when that guy spawns and you have to break the shield barriers, you don't have to break more than 2, right? Or you don't have to break all 3 to be able to replan again, right? You want to minimize how much extra work you do. Here we go. Just back at it. Got some kills and some damage. I don't have any Transcendence energy, so here we go. Putting in. Look at that. Look at that huge chunk of Transcendence. Between using Ascension and the motif, the area denial, it just almost instantly fills your Transcendence bar. Like, actually insane. I will. Now here's the hardest, one of the hardest versions of this mission. Probably the hardest to do solo. Is walk around with this stupid cargo crate that slows you down. So I'm gonna do my obligatory one, but as the healer, it's my job to keep my friends alive while they're carrying them. So I'll drop off one, and then I'll just make sure everybody else is alive. Now, usually what I'll do is after I drop off the first one, I'll stay near the crates so that I can kill the Chief Inspector. That's gonna be another part of the mission, so he'll spawn up here in a few seconds. So I'm just going to stay over here, get some kills on some of the inspectors so that my boys can walk in and deliver. Throw the super, drop some extra damage. There we go, pop Transcendence. I get kind of lazy with my Transcendence when I'm playing, you know, when I'm not pushing like super crazy difficult content or, you know, like doing solo missions. But, you know, I could have Transcendence up a whole lot more often and actually popping it a whole lot more. If you really want to max this build out, like especially if you're running a dungeon or whatever, please, for the love of God, actually use your Transcendence. Like, actually use your kit the way it's meant to be. Like, if you've got Transcendence, use it. There's not really, like, honestly, with builds like, you know, the Hunter, especially lately, you can get Transcendence back so quickly that there's almost no reason to sit on it. There's a Chief Inspector. Put some damage out on him. Get some detonator beam going. Oh, yeah. All right, Sam, get in there. I'll heal you. Tank him. Tank him for me, Sam. Don't worry, Sam. I'll heal you. Oh, yeah, look at that. My boy's both like full health right now. Tanking the boss to the face. He's not even close. Okay, Bigsy got kind of low there. All right, don't worry, Bigsy. I got you. I'm telling you right now, you guys have no idea that they're being killed. Almost guaranteed. See how I'm positioning myself on the opposite side of the enemy so that it all counts, like the game thinks that I'm healing my friend, but I'm actually, you know, doing damage to the enemy, right? Now, obviously, it died really quickly because he got, you know, blasted by a Warlock. But, you know, for higher damage, you know, for bigger mobs, right, big boss boys, right, it is going to be very useful to be able to pretty much consistently put out damage with essentially an infinite gun, right? We got a super back again. This should, right here, this should probably net me another Transcendence. Yep, there it is. Yeah. See how it's just so easy to get our Transcendence energy up. All right, I gotta get my charge up. Didn't have enough to pop off Bigsy there. Now you can see that I am running a little low on ammo. Low being about half, right? And I noticed it here, but there are some ammo bricks just showing on the side over there that I could go pick up. But I can just sit here, chase Bigsy down, get him healed up, and then go chase the ammo later, right? Not that big of a deal. Oh, here we go. Did I find it? Oh, I walked right over it. Perfect. But this is why I run like the scav, right? I run like a scavenger mod. I run the ammo binders. So just in case I do start to run out of ammo for some reason, right? Because I'm dumping ammo over there on the side to get, you know, my boy healed up here. You know, just in case I do get kind of low, there's almost always going to be some ammo on the ground for me somewhere. All right, Sam, don't worry, buddy. I got you. I'll heal you up. Here we go. Let's go. Sam, don't leave me. Sam, you're supposed to tank for me. And he's gone. Also, keep in mind that these are projectiles. They are not hit scanned, so they do have some travel time, and they can miss a little bit more frequently at a distance, right? The tracking is not perfect. It's something you kind of get used to. It's not that bad. All right, let's see how we're doing on ammo now. I think I saw myself pick up a brick. Damn, what you doing, buddy? Come on. Gotta get a crate. Yeah, we're still about even on ammo from where we were last time, sitting just under 200. So we're still sitting right around 2/3, a little over half. I'd say a little over half of our total ammo capacity, which is great since we're going on almost 20 consecutive minutes, 15, 20 consecutive minutes of using mostly this gun. You see how fast you get the charge up, right? Like 2 or 3 shots into an enemy, and you've got like half charge, quarter charge, full charge. I think it's like 8 to 10 shots. I really need to count. I've never bothered counting. It's like 8 to 10 shots. Oh, there we go. Got another. Look at that chunk of ammo pickup. Now look, we're back at full. We're back at full ammo. After one good brick pickup, back at full. It's over. I don't have to worry about it. But the good thing about smuggle missions have good and bad, right? Smuggle missions probably have the hardest middle steps. So step 2 and step 3 of a smuggle mission, setting up the cargo crates and delivering them, are probably the 2 absolute worst intermediate missions you can do in one of these Lawless Frontier activities. But their exfil is probably the second easiest, right? I think the only exfil that's easier is probably the sabotage. So for sabotage, you call in the Falcon, you plant the bomb, and then you wait a minute and you're gone, right? Nothing else. You just gotta survive it. With smuggle, call in the Falcon, you wait a minute, and then you have to Strand smash them by standing on the King of the Hill points, which take about 15 seconds apiece, right? But all you gotta do is survive in those 15 seconds. Not that bad. So that's not too bad. The bounty hunt ones are the ones where you can get like triple wyvern spawn, you get the retaliators. Oh look, we're done. See, look at that. See, if you have 3 people and everyone stands on the platform, you're done in like 15 to 20 seconds. And it's just over, right? It's that easy. Sam, stop casting the super. Get in the ship. We're leaving. Sam, brother, get in the ship. We're leaving. But yeah, there you go. I mean, that's pretty easy, right? You are a little bit squishier than normal because you don't have as many sources of DR coming in consistently. So you have to be a little bit more kind of like passive with the way you play, right? You're not going to be in the face of enemies consistently, but honestly, it's still a lot of fun. Like I had a great time running this. It's actually really amusing, and I love to see like what else it can do, if it can like be useful in other aspects. But it's a fun little support build. If you want to keep people alive, you can do it pretty well. You can actually keep people alive pretty well with an infinite ammo gun. So yeah, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed.